Before the video begins, take a moment to review the video lesson's expectations. Happy learning! Hola y bienvenidos. Welcome to your grammar notes video. Today we're going to be talking about subject pronouns and the verb ser. So what are pronouns? Pronouns are words that take the place of a noun. So it would be an example of a pronoun. So instead of saying I drink water, you could say I drink it. Subject pronouns indicate who is being described or who does the action in a sentence. We have these in English as well, right? That would be I, you, we, they, you all, he, she. Those are all subject pronouns in English. So our example, it says, we are friends. And in Spanish, that would be nosotros somos amigos. So our subject pronouns work with our verb ser. The verb ser means to be. We use ser to identify a person or to say where they are from. We also use ser to say what somebody is like. So our verb ser is what we call an infinitive. Okay? This means that it does not have a tense and you do not know who is doing the action. It just means to be. Who is being? We don't know. When are they being? We don't know. Ser is our infinitive. So this chart shows us all of our subject pronouns. Those are the ones bolded in blue. And our conjugations of the verb ser. Those are the ones bolded in red. Now you might be wondering, Miss Rund, what the heck is a conjugation? Explaining conjugations is so hard. So a conjugation is a verb when it is given a tense and when it has a subject or the person that is doing the action. Now we have conjugations in English. Those are all of those italicized words below our Spanish conjugations. So I always like to give the example. In English, we know that I am is the correct way to say that phrase. We wouldn't say I are. It doesn't sound right to us. That's because we've learned those conjugations as we've grown up. So our word for I in Spanish is yo, and I am in Spanish would be yo soy, or just soy. Our word for you in Spanish is tú. To say you are, you would say tú eres, or simply eres. For he, we have él. For she, we have ella. So to say he is, we would say él es, or to say she is, you would say ella es. And then another form of you in Spanish would be usted. So to say you are, you'd say usted es. Now moving on to our plural forms. To say we in Spanish, you would say nosotros or nosotras. To say we are, you would say nosotros somos or nosotras somos. The next form that we'll see is actually only used in Spain, and I'll touch on it a little bit more later in this video. It's a form that you might come across, but it's not one that we use a whole lot in class. Our word for y'all would be vosotros or vosotras, and to say y'all are, we would say vosotros sois or vosotras sois. To say they in Spanish, we have ellos or ellas. To say they are, you would say ellos son or ellas son. And to say you all, you would say ustedes. To say you all are, you would say ustedes son. Because our Spanish conjugations are different for many of our subjects, then a lot of the time we just leave out the subject pronoun in Spanish. In the exercises that we'll be doing in class as we practice these, though, we will leave in the subject pronoun for good practice. Now we have two examples. I am from Buenos Aires and they are from Venezuela. So now I'm going to challenge you to write these two sentences. For practice, I want you to start each one with a subject pronoun. Why don't we do that together? So looking at your chart, how would you say I in Spanish? Hopefully you went with yo. I in Spanish is yo. What about they? There's two options. You could use either one. Hopefully you said either ellos or ellas. Either one could work. Now go ahead and work on writing the rest of each of these sentences. You can use your chart and you can use your vocab list for help. Go ahead and pause the video and write each of these sentences. Okay. Looking at our first example, in English we have I am from Buenos Aires. We know that we're gonna start with yo because yo means I. The rest of that sentence in Spanish would say soy de Buenos Aires. And we've practiced soy de before in class, but now we have a subject pronoun in front of it. Yo soy de Buenos Aires. What about the next one? They are from Venezuela. Hopefully you got the rest of it as son de Venezuela. So the whole sentence would read Ellos son de Venezuela. Muy bien. Let's keep learning. Now we're going to talk about some differences in the subject pronouns that you see on your chart. So we have tú and we have usted. They both mean you. However, these two are used in different contexts. Tú is our informal, more familiar way of saying you, while usted is our more formal way of saying you. You would use tú with a friend, a family member, or someone younger, someone that you know well. Then you would use usted with a person that you don't know, somebody older, or someone to whom you want to show respect. Tú is informal and usted is more formal. Now, what about vosotros versus ustedes? Like I said before, we use vosotros with friends and family and younger people, but we only use that in Spain. So vosotros is more of the informal way to say you all or y'all. And then we would use ustedes with people that you don't know, older people, and people to whom you want to show respect in Spain. So ustedes in Spain is more formal. However, in Latin America, it's used with any group of people. So I often refer to the whole class as ustedes. ¿Cómo están ustedes? You've probably heard me say that before. We also have nosotras, vosotras, and ellas. When do we use these? These are the feminine forms of all these plural subject pronouns. So we use nosotras, vosotras, and ellas when all of the people that we are talking about are female. So in order to use the as ending, every single person in the group has to be female. If you throw one guy in there, then those words resort back to the masculine form with the os at the end. Alright, that is the end of my presentation. If you got lost or got behind, or you just need to rehear something, go ahead and rewind and rewatch the video. Adios!